you know, when you have artists working in their studio, there's this fine line that you walk between the sort of cult of personality of the artist and do you know what I mean? Which I don't want to subscribe to. But there's this question, like, it's a big question of the role of the artist in the work and how is the artist always present or not. And basically the idea is that since the 19th century there's been this cult of the personality of the artist, and especially culminating in the abstract expressionism and and you see it still in Art 21 interviews, and people are always interested in who's the artist, sometimes more than who's the art, what's the art, and they always want to know see this presence of the artist in the work, and I want to talk about this question in my work. So this is a photograph of a performance that I did first in 2003 and then in 2005. In 2003 I did this performance for 3 weeks, and then in 2005 I did it for 6 months. And what you see here is an oval frame with a picture light, and this is my hand. And when you walked into the gallery space, you would see just this. And I'm actually sitting behind the wall so that you can't see my body. And just my hand is in the frame. And I'm holding the hand in art historical gestures that I have an art history book on my lap behind the wall, and I flip through it and I look for poses that people are doing in historical paintings, and I mimic them in the frame. And I hold the pose for as long as possible in one pose, and then when my hand starts to feel stiff, then I'll move it to another pose. And I did this for as long as was necessary for the painting to be in the show, because I consider it like a painting. And the idea is that, well, there are two ideas that I was thinking about within this work. One is, if art is forever and I want to live forever, then if I become art, will I live forever? And if I am art, then what are the consequences of that? Will I then have to sit on the wall for the duration of the show? So in that case, then I do, and they become extremely long endurance performances. I forgot to talk about how when I'm not in the work, there's a will return sign. Yeah, so in all of my performances so far, when I think of the performances as existing with me in the performance and without me in them, and when I'm not there, there's a will return sign in the frame or hanging from the work to indicate when I will return. And I'm interested in that moment when the performance is over, but continuing the artwork and thinking about what happens when if the performance is able to, if you were able to still continue to call this an artwork even without the performer there. This is the headshot of me and Jamie, and we had this headshot made when we were doing performances together, and we did a video called Infinite Disco Soft Shoe, in which we are dancing on a small stage to the ragtime version of the Bee Gees song Stayin' Alive. And the video is of me and Jamie, and Jamie is trying to mimic my moves, and we dance on the stage in the video on an infinite loop so that the video never ends. And the idea was for this video was that it would be an update on the Renaissance theme of the Dance of Death that you see in works by, say, Hans Holbein, in which a skeleton is dancing with a living being, and then the idea is when the dance is over, then of course the skeleton ushers the living being into the land of the dead. But since this video is on an infinite loop, then we never actually have to go to the land of the dead. We stay somewhere in the middle in this infinite dance. And because I am Jamie's skeleton, or Jamie is my body, then there is an ambiguity that we maintain forever and ever and ever.